Okay guys, this is a coaching session for Leona, Diamond 5 on EU West. So we've got Tristana, Leona into Vayne, Sona. The Sona has a mixed sourced. Potentially I would like to see quite an early engage on the Sona if possible, level 2, level 3. Bear in mind the Vayne Condemn can interrupt the Zenith Blade from the Leona. But in theory, at least anyway, laning phase should go quite nicely for you as long as you both play aggressively. If you for some reason get pushed in too much, Sona's poke is probably going to do a little bit too much to you, and then you'll have to wait until first recall to be able to get anything done here. You've got a Carthus. That's a decent global for you to play around with, but then you've also got to worry about the TF ulti quite quickly early on in the laning phase. Both top lane has TP as well. You got the Kane as well. Kane's a pretty annoying person to play against. So, yeah. Let's go in it. Let's go see what's going to happen. Trist's AFK at Fountain at the moment. It's good work. Carthus is really strong, level 1. He can get the stun as well, and as Leona that can work out pretty nicely too. It's a shame the Trist is AFK in the Fountain though. I think waiting here is perfectly fine. You could even do delayed invade here actually. If Tristana doesn't get CS though, this is going to be really problematic for you in the lane. It's a shame like no one puts a ward in this brush here just to see like the red situation. Because it's a chance that, I mean, if no one's here, it's likely that they're invading either here or invading red side. So it would be nice to have a ward here. I know it'd suck if you had to use it, but that will give you a lot of information as well. So I think you should probably put a ward of their red there, if no one else does. Okay, so at this point you know that we're invading. I think you can still compete for this though. I think your level 1 is a lot stronger than theirs, especially with your Carthus Q is amazing. It's probably Carthus Q is probably the strongest here. Nice cat shot. Okay, whatever, you got first blood, it's not end blood. You can still easily follow this up though. There's 2 kills for your team now. Nice. I mean, nice. Yeah, your level 1's awesome. That's a really nice start. So you start off with what? 550 gold? Oh, your Triss is TP, I've only just realised that. Okay, that's weird. That does actually help her out a lot though, because she was very low HP. Yeah, so what you would like to do here is actually push in quite early maybe, and then go in, or if you can't make an opportunity to go in very soon, then you want to go back a little bit earlier to get boots. And a control ward would be super useful down here. Then that'll give you complete lane dominance here for the first 8 minutes of the game. Like after these 3 casting minions here, you won't be level 2 I believe, because you missed out on XP. Let's just see. Yeah, you're not quite level 2. I think here you tell the Tristana to go back, and then you recall, and you go spend your gold, because there's nothing you guys can do under this tower situation here. Just tell the Tristana to go back and wait. You have a ward here as well, so what you could do is just to give Trist a quick little of extra protection. You should have been like standing around here as these casting minions were dying, so you were in XP range still, and then quickly put a normal ward, trinket, over into the tri-brush. Recall, get boots, control ward, and you could probably afford a rejuvenation bead as well. That would be a really nice setup for early lane. You could even maybe pick up 2 control wards maybe as well. Yep, I can see that. 6, isn't it? 550, that's boots. Yeah, you could do 2 control wards as well if you wanted to there as well. You should be really spending the money here. It's a shame we don't recall, because it's great that you got the money from the kills from the level 1, but you haven't spent the money, so it's just sitting in your bags doing nothing. Right now, if I were you, I'd be constantly looking at opportunities to recall to be able to spend the money. That way then you can snowball the lane from that. Chris is already taking quite a lot of damage here. And she's probably got, what, enough money for like a longsword or something? Or a double longsword? For Storm Razor. You both should recall here. You both are looking for an opportunity to recall here. I need to rewind it there. Problem is you can't engage properly here on a Sona right now because the Tristana needs to wait for to regen her HP as well. It is okay zoning when you're in that brush. They are respecting you a fair amount here. I don't think you can go in right now though. How close are you to now Moby Boots? I mean, if you are staying in this lane long enough now, you're at 800. Okay, that could have been really bad for you, that engage. Two reasons here. Vayne's already used Humble. I think that's maybe why you go in here. And I can see you panic and reposition yourself, because if you didn't reposition yourself there, Vayne would have condemned you under tower there, and that would have put you in a really bad position. Also, the Vayne could have condemned you against this wall as well. The best place for you to spin around then, after acknowledging the dodgy engage, would be to go south. Ideally southeast on her position, so if she were to condemn you, it would be away from the tower and away from this wall. Because if you got nudged into this wall here, you could probably be at like 50% HP and have to chug a potion or two. Yeah. You're definitely looking to go back, I think, soon though. You've got to spend this money you've got in your bags now. You're approaching 1k. Once you hit this cannon, you're going to be 1k. Moby Boots to gank TF super early as well is amazing. If Karthus gets ahead of the TF as well in terms of global advantage, that would be massive as well. So you're just under 1k right now. You should recall here. Now would be a okay, no, okay. It's a good Karthus roam. It should be a Sona kill. Pushing the wave and still recall though. I don't think I would tower dive this. I hope that's what doesn't happen, because this could be pretty dangerous to tower dive. I know it's just her by herself. Okay, if you are going to make the tower dive play, it has to be you getting the tower aggro here. Ideally, like, even if it's just you putting ignite on just to get the tower aggro, and then use your W to give you the enhanced armor to tank it through. I think the tower dive could work here. You've got to be the one for sure to get aggro, and if you dive for it, it could be worth it. Like right here, bone plating already gets popped off the Vayne here. And she obviously wants to make the play to go in, so I think here you just walk in anyway. You just walk in. You don't even have to use E, because the minions are at this moment. Neither of you have tower aggro, so the tower's just going to switch to the minions now at this point. So you just walk under the tower here. You're obviously not keen on tower diving, and I wouldn't be either. But I think if you have to go all in this play if she wants to do it. And I think that if you just ignite here at this point here and then just pop up your W, you'll get the tower aggro at this point. The reason why this dive won't work now is because you've missed your Zenith Blade, which there is some risk to anyway with the Vayne tumble and Flash as well still up. But there's Tristana's bomb's going to pop off, and then Tristana's going to get the aggro because you haven't dealt any damage first to her. So that's why you both back off, and then yeah, it doesn't work. You would have probably actually been able to make it work, or at the very worst case scenario you would have died, but the 1-for-1 trade but plus assist would have been worth it. As long as you both go back shortly though and spend your gold, it's not the end of the world that didn't happen. Okay, right, let's see what you buy. Maybe boots, targans, controller. Good. How much money do you got? Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, cool. You need to make the plays quite early on here now. You should be able to just zoom in here actually. I would keep chasing this Sona down a little bit more. Oh well, doesn't matter. Just because she has no boots and you've got maybe boots, minions would have probably stopped you, put you in combat around about here though. It's a shame you aren't able to freeze this. If you were with an AD carry that wasn't Trist, you'd want to freeze this obviously, but Tristan as a passive auto pushes the minions, it's kind of sucky. Right, at this point you want to look for opportunities to roam to mid now for TF rather than TF coming down to bot side. One also mega advantage you've got over the Sona as well is that she's got blue GP5 as well. So she's always in the perma backline like this, so she's not actually generating any gold. So this is already a victory for you anyway, because you're going to be out gold scaling her in theory like crazy now, as long as you don't take too much harassment. So you can already win the lane by being passive here anyway. This is really good for you. You can get a decent amount of damage into this tower, and also if you can keep the Vayne and the TF in this position here, they're not going to be getting minion XP at all, so you can deny them a lot of XP here. It's a shame there isn't a little bit more emphasis on that actually, because you guys are actually pretty damn strong at this point now. You three are a lot stronger than these two, especially even if Kayn comes down as well. And you've got the... Okay, you have no card for Salty, never mind. That would have been nice. But you could still zone this Vayne and twist the Fate off the tower here, and TF doesn't even have that much mana. I think Trist is eager to... Yeah, it would have been nice to be more eager around about here rather than on the tower though, but... TF's pretty low. We're almost level 6 as well, so you definitely want to keep up the pressure here. At this point I'll be spamming my XP to the chat and saying basically almost level 6, get ready to go. You've got Ignite ready as well. It's a shame we don't have Hex Flash in this build, because you know what would have been perfect there? If you had waited in the corner of that brush and started casting Hex Flash as soon as the Sona was coming across, or even just being there anyway. Just the E onto her there. That was a pretty huge face check by her there. Any opportunity you've got where Sona's in front of Vayne, you should just take it. You're bouncing up and down here. Instead, you should be like on the front foot. You should be like bouncing up and down, like in the tip of this brush here, because that was Sona overextending like crazy, and that should have been a kill actually. Also, another thing as well, you want to be ready on the tip of the lane is for that, yeah, just to get that ward, the auto hit Q, auto hit. Sometimes when you're standing at the far back here as well, you don't reach the ward quick enough. Okay, now you're 6, you should consider like making the play. As soon as the Kayn comes down at this point. I think if you see this Kayn, you've got to you've got no flash. Sona isn't going to do anything. Alright, so what I would do is I would Q here. I guess you're going all in for the play, that's fine too. I think you leave Trist here to die. Yeah, just drag the Kayn away from the Tristana and to make sure that she then survives. One of you has to die, as long as it's not both of you, that's fine. Nice, Kayn hasn't got enough damage to kill you. Awesome. Good. What you get on your next buy? Wait. Never expect the TP Trist. That was actually amazing. What'd you buy? Another control ward. Refillable potion. I'm not a fan of that, but I can understand why people take it. It's okay. Does that actually stop you though from upgrading your GP5 to max though? No, it wouldn't. How long you got your quest complete? It could be worth it actually, because you guys are so far ahead in the laning phase. I know you haven't completed your quest yet, but you're about to, so you will get one ward from there. It actually might be worth getting oracles at this point. red trinket, because if you can guarantee that there's no wards here at all, you're denying them a crap ton of vision. So it means that this gives your potential engage is even stronger, because you guarantee the fact that they can't even see you. So you can put even more pressure on the lane from having that red trinket at this point as well. I think doing either play here is fine, roaming to mid, or staying bot and trying to get that tower down. It is quite low. You haven't quite got your ulti up yet, but it will be up soon. It's a good stun there on the Vayne under tower for the Trist E, but you should have put your ignite down. Your ignite was up the whole time, right? Yeah. So the only way Vayne survives this is with her own heal and Sona's heal. Like, ignite should be popped straight away during that cast there. She would have died, the Vayne would have died there. You walk back in there. You should be telling your team to go back a bit here. This Triss is very ballsy, man. You gotta go back now. You just seen the cane. Your ult's up now. You're gonna have to try and ult the cane here. You have to try and ult the cane first. It's a good little chain CC there with the Q, then into the ulti, but you've got to try and protect the Trist. Because you're both extremely low HP, and you got your range CC. You should be prioritizing using that. And if it does actually land the CC on the cane, on the sweet spot, then you can easily just E in and then Q and then chain CC that up to prevent the cane from ulting if he has it, or to make sure that no auto attacks come out so that you both of you survive. And even if it gets hit by the slow, it gives Trist a chance to maybe kite with an auto attack maybe as well, and that might have been enough as well to get the kill. But you have been missing quite a few E's this game. So you've got the bot tower tier 1 down, you've got picked up 2 controls, that's great. You've got your red trinket as well, and you upgraded your GP5. So far build wise you're doing a pretty decent job. You kind of want to... This is too much. This is too deep. I think you could do a lot better here. If this is your control one, I would have moved up to the tri-brush for extra pressure. And then your oracles is then up at that point, and then you could scout around tier, and if there's no wards here, you should then be pressuring the mid. This play here is too deep, too early on 11 minutes into the game, and it's gonna put you in a bad spot if they all collapse on you. I think you... Okay. Your flash is almost up. It's basically up. So yeah, once your flash is up in 1 second, you just want to flash Q the Vayne ulti. Up just shortly, very quickly afterwards. So that's a chain CC there, and then just whack ignite on her, make sure she dies. Yeah, let stuff get condemned here, and this is the downside of you guys overextending so much. Yeah. So that's funny, isn't it, actually? Because you could have swung around to mid and the TF would have had to use summoners or would have died here. But instead it actually swings back down to you guys because you're too far overextended on bot side. There's like no reason to be here at this early stage in the game. Unless it's like the opening. Because it's just way too... You two could easily like just start taking down mid tier 1. Or even setting up the Drake. Or even switching over to Herald and just forcing your top laner just to go bot. Because your Sion has TP anyway. Even if both of you showed up top side, you could have, the Sion would just TP down to recall and just TP back down to bot anyway. So, yeah, this is way too deep this early on in the game. Especially not respecting the TF or TO as well. I've got chains now. Right, so you're coming back down now. You've got 2 control wards in your pocket. It's gonna time to start using that though. Okay. Because you have such map pressure on their side of the map, this control ward is too weak. Usually this is an okay ward to place a control ward, but I think you can be way more aggressive with your vision here. I personally would put a control ward like either here, yeah, probably here. I probably would put control ward here. I think you're going to put a normal ward here, and that's actually really nice of you. That's definitely a good idea. And yeah, you can put one here too, which I think you're going to do. Good. Very good deep vision. I just think you could be a little bit more aggressive with that control ward. I think it's not doing anything there. Do you know what I mean? Because there's nothing for that control ward to actually do. Because you've got so much deep vision here anyway. Like, you could even use the controller to be like guarantee aggressive vision in one of these 2 brushes here, or put a control ward here to make sure that, like, you know, there's no way for them to get in. It's a lot of things you could do there with that control ward vision. I personally would probably do it here though. I probably wouldn't like to be in a situation still being this far deep down to the bot, but the Vayne is low HP. You can maybe get some more damage down to this tower, but once again it is like the overextending thing. There's 3 people bot side now. TP is just being used top side as well, so you don't have to worry about TP coming bot at least anyway. But this needs to be a little bit more emphasis about doing objectives now. This seems just like too much on the bot. This Drake should be done. This Drake should be started, and this bishop, yeah, this ping is going into it now from Trist. You should be the one pinging this though. As a support, you should be calling out these plays. If the jungler isn't calling the plays, then you need to. Ocean Drake early is really nice, and it's kind of picked up about 4 or 5 minutes late here. What you should do here as well is while you're here, you should put a normal ward around here, roughly where these caster minions here, because then you'll be able to see as well which direction TF goes to ulti. If he's going to start heading up to top or to bot, it's going to give you indication of where he might use his ulti after farming mid. You've got 2 ward charges left on your GP5 there as well. So your next 2 easiest objectives to take is either the outer turrets or the Herald. Your team's pretty far ahead at the moment. You're setting up for the Herald, I believe, here, which is awesome if that's what you're going to do. We'd probably like to... Once again, this is probably too much. Yeah, this is too much again. You're both encouraging each other here. Alright, you finally ditched and that's fine. If the Scion dies here, it's totally not your fault. Right, you can engage onto this got right away. Oh, should be, yep, you straight away, good. Just put a control ward here just to make sure they can't see vision here. Definitely worth it just to put a control ward down here, in my opinion. And once this starts getting to about 3k, you should just go to top side, I think. And help get ready to push in that tier 2, just in case they would answer to that. TF's using ult to try and get away from the Scion. He gets away. Right, good. This is good. And now you want to rotate down to mid now, get that tower. You picked up the... Grace picked up the... You can maybe push into tier 2 here as well. It could be a little bit dangerous because the Earth's not doing too badly. Okay, Triss is too low now. You can't push in for this tier 2 even with the Herald. So you just want to go back now and go by. You gotta go back with your team. How much money on? 1k. So that can get you the 10% CDR for the Zeeks. I would probably go towards that route. The only AP they've got on their team is a TF, and he's not doing that great. The main damage dealer on the team is really the Kayn at the moment. And yeah, you do. So yeah, your build's on point. Your build's on point. Really interested to see where this game goes though later on into the game though, because so far you got a decent advantage. A couple of macro mistakes, a couple of missed skill shots, but definitely not terrible right now. Yeah, it seems like your average game really. Get good vision there as well. Yeah, you got the ward over the wall. You got the wardings here is pretty decent too. So your warding and setting up for objectives is decent. So you've identified, look, this is the easiest thing for our team to take, this tier 1 tower. You've got the flanks warded. It's pretty good here. You have flash here. I think nice. I think what would have been a little bit more convincing and easier here is this turn is way out of position here. This should just straight away be a Leona ulti. I think you're being a little bit too reluctant to use it at max range. That would have been a lot safer way to get that kill. And probably the Karthus wouldn't have ulted either actually, so you would have had the Karthus ult still for the next team fight. Right, we got the job done. You got your actually I guess technically you didn't do anything there. But yeah, the ulti should have been out there for a cleaner kill. Okay, hold on. Let's just watch this back. And Sean says, my mechanics are already bad, so they're kind of scared to lead him with ult, then you need to practice it. The only way you're going to improve is by leading and practicing leading with your ulti. The longer you refrain to learn how to do that, then it's just going to hinder you even more, and it's going to always be at the back of your mind about making mistakes and stuff as well. Sometimes you got to make the mistakes to learn, and sometimes, yeah, sometimes we're thinking Leona ulti. I live with Leona ulti sometimes as well. It happens. It's just, you know, once you get the games in the practice more, you'll miss fewer and fewer. But when a squishy like that oversteps the mark like crazy, you need to be instant ulti reaction there. I mean, you're in Diamond now. I mean, Diamond, you're with the top 2% of the player base, basically. Top 1% maybe. You gotta... This is where mechanics is like leading into a thing now. You can get to Diamond on pure macro with not great mechanics, but you will need to start brushing up on mechanics, because macro wise, apart from, you know, I guess overextending bot side is kind of a big thing, and it probably has delayed the game by about 2 or 3 minutes because you guys were overextended here instead of rotating to the dragon or to the mid or to the top tower and to Herald sooner. But you did eventually set up, and you're setting up those objectives nicely. It's just, don't get yourself caught up when you're this far ahead just to get stuck down here. Just keep going for the objectives, the easiest objectives. Tier 2 bot tower, after you've only had one tower in the game, is not the easiest objective to take. But you are setting up those objectives. When you are doing those objectives, you are setting them up pretty decently, to be honest. So, there's that to take away there. But the mechanics so far does seem to be the weakest thing I've seen from you so far. Alright, I just want to watch what happened here. This is super far deep into it, especially with Karthus having no ulti. Alright. You stop right there and you catch out this TF. This TF is standing in your face. I think what's happening here is you're tunnel visioning too much on your AD carry situation here. This should be switched straight onto the TF. E, Q, if you're able to. You might get both stunned at the same time, and then you ult the TF, and Graves can get a kill at least. And then see where it plays out from there. Yeah, you kind of walk back in here. This is bad now. Don't think that flash is going to save you. Yeah, a little ulti. Graves is pretty fed though, so you can clean that up quite nicely, and in theory he should use Herald mid now. So Herald gets used mid. Okay, when this tier 1 tower's down, you put a ward down here. Yeah, good job. And you're warding him. To be honest, out of all the coaching sessions I've done, like, you're the best warder that I've seen. So make sure you wear that badge of prep with. Be happy with that. It's more like your decision making during fights and your skill shot but land percentage is low. I think that's definitely your issue here. Team fights are definitely your weakness. Let's keep going and see where this game goes. So your next objective is the dragon. Next stroke is what? I can't even... Usually there's a rune there that tells you what the next Drake is. That's kind of annoying. Because it would emphasize how much priority it's going to be on the Drake rather than the Baron. Okay, here. Here. For example, here. Okay. The Sona is miles ahead. And you've got ulti up. I'm using... Sorry, it's timing and this is really bad for me. Okay. So... That Sona is a billion years miles overextended there. Even though you are 3, you have a lot of... Like, I wouldn't advise going this if this was a dead even game, because you don't even know where the Urgot is. But you do have Karthus ulti up and Graves, and Karthus are nowhere near. But this Sona will die in like... She's like wet, soggy paper. If you land 1 CC on her, she just like melts away. So like, yeah, you should just immediately throw out your ulti here. If she flashes it, that's great. That means she can't do a flash engage ult later on in the fight. If it lands, she dies in like 0.5 seconds. I'm not sure the reluctance here to not ulti here. That should have been a kill. Once you kill the Sona as well, you've killed the enemy support, so that's like way less vision that you have to worry about. From there, you go straight to Drake, and then you can then set up Baron. And the Sona should be dead. You should have just instantly used her ulti. Leona is really amazing against her ulti, against very squishy targets that overextend like that. It's such a high punish ability. You guys do pick up the Mantle Drake at least anyway, so next you want to make sure you got your vision more towards the top side of the map. I mean, yeah, I would consider going in here as well. Sona has used the ulti and it's still on cooldown. Yeah, good, you use it this time. That's a good E into a Q there, you will get stunned by TF. Look how fast she dies. You can keep chasing this up. Just keep being a front line here. Just keep being the front line here. You've got way too much HP to be standing behind the AD carry. Okay. Here there's way too much, like, the TF hasn't even got his cards racking up here. You've got Ignite on yourself here as well. At least the Vayne does die. TF dies here as well. Okay, so here at this point, exact point here, is that you've got Sion topside. You've got Sion to be able to free push into this tower, so this should be a free tier 2 tower for you, in theory. You just want to keep them busy as long as possible to make sure no one goes up to top side, basically. That's basically your goal here. You need to apply pressure here still for the Sion. You've still got a lot long death timers on the enemy team here. You should be with your team. Yeah. You should be with your team here. I think Kayn should die from CC there. Sion would definitely die, but Kayn would also die there as well. They both overstayed, that's not your fault, but you should have been there as well with them there though. This might be even worse now. It's just fine, you can't engage in now. If you're going in now, you'll probably both kill you, each of you. Yeah, So you recall, you got 2 control words, you got Zeke's. Make sure you use it though. I don't think you've used it on the Trist yet. I don't think you've used the Zeke's. There's no aura for you there. There's a really nice stun there on the Bane. But I don't think it's going to be a follow-up. Okay, let me just go back and watch that because I don't think... I'm actually going to watch you come out fancy just in case it's a graphical issue there with the Zeke's. Because like right from here, you should just use it. There's no cooldown onto using Zeke's until you've actually done an ulti. So you should just put it on the graves like here, for example. And then once you get closer towards your Trist, then you should switch it onto the Trist. Yeah. Because, okay, the thing with Zeke's and even sometimes Knight's Vow is slightly trickier because it does put a cooldown. I think it's like a 90-second cooldown when you do use it. Okay, so with Zeke's, you always want to keep switching it to different players, even if they can't use it, as long as so that you at least get the AoE slow. So it should always be on someone near you, so that when you do, if you do have to ulti, you're at least getting the AoE slow off, even if it's not on your AD carry, because your AD carry is not near. Now with Knight's Vow, it's slightly trickier because you can't swap it over as often as that. But say for example, you've got your Knight's Vow and Tristana, and then she dies, then you need to quickly switch it to someone else, so that they get the Knight's Vow buff, and that you can get the heals as well from that as well. So even though like some people just think they're just passives that you can just donk them on one target and then forget about it, you actually need to be actively using it more often than you actually think you should be, if that makes sense. So yeah, the Zeke should be on Tristana at this point. So this is a lot of this is a reasonable amount of DPS and an AoE slow that you're missing out on here. It's quite a big core. This is a first core item as well. I can understand why you engage in here, but it's too deep. It's like, yeah, it's kind of... And this is another good reason why you should use your ult first rather than dedicating in. So yeah, like at this point here... It's destiny. I'm gonna put it on slow-mo and watch it out. Because Karthus gets super badly called out, right? Sona gets a really nice double stun on your team here. If I were you, I would kind of like wait to see if they follow up on this. I think what you need to do here actually is once again just ult the Sona. Just once again, she would just die so fast here. Like, you're in ult range here, you should just ult the Sona. If you had flash, I would even just like maybe flash EQ the Sona here. Because you haven't got your flash ready. Just ult the Sona. Just get her out of the picture straight away. And then she's got no sustain at all for your team. It is sometimes fine just to ult the enemy support like that. Take them out of the fight and then they can't do anything for their team at all. Now what's happened here is now you've decided to full hard engage on someone. You've still got your ulti out, but none of your team can follow you up because you're super deep in. And you're also going to give Urgot an ulti here as well. Is he going to use that? Okay, Urgot didn't use that. He could have, if Urgot could have ulted you and then used your death to fear the enemy, your teammates here, and it could have been really bad here. This could have been Triss dead as well. Anyway, I'm gonna have to fast forward this because you're dead and I know the person I'm focusing on. Silent dice from that as well. That started off Karthus overextending there, but you could have played as a peel support at that point with your ulti to put Totem away, or you should have just engaged on the easiest target possible there. And I know going for the AD carry or like their best player, highest DPS player is sometimes good, but not at the cost of being like 3 to 4 flash distances away from your teammates, if that makes sense. So yeah, you could have just killed the Sona straight away and then she would have died instantly, and then like your team could have then decided whether or not to keep following up or not. I think all of you would have backed off at that point. After the sinner died, I think all of you would have just backed. Okay. Gotta do your best to get as much control over the Baron pit as you can now. Decent vision now. So far. You're doing it by yourself though, so it's never the best. Ideally you want to do it with people, but I mean, sometimes it's, you know, people don't help you ward, that's fine. As long as you're getting it done. This is too deep again, there's no point going this far deep. Yeah. I guess what... I know, there's just no reason. No, we're both gonna die. This is like reminiscent of the bot lane overextension there as well. It's only you and Trist, although minions do pick up the tower though. Like, no, it's too deep. You can't. What it does do though is that it does create... They did win the bot side fight and it did drag a lot of the enemy teammates to the top side. But that would have happened anyway because there would have been at least one person that would have had to react to some of the minions pushing here anyway. Yeah. I think in this case, you should be working more with your Graves rather than your Tristana. Graves is a lot more fed and Graves has a huge amount of burst as well. So when you do land your ulti CC, Graves will just like dash in, Q, ulti if he has to. And against the Vayne, the Sona, the Twisted Fate, the Kayn, everyone apart from Urgot will just instantly die. I think you should be working more with the Graves rather than your AD carry. The AD carry is overextending a lot of the time. Sona will take that out of his passive in theory. Nope. Alright, you still want to maintain vision here. You want to make sure you've got a ward in the middle of the mid lane here to see rotations. That should be done. Also, I think you need to be playing a little bit more on the back foot now. You guys have lost a lot of map control. Yeah. Literally as I say that, yeah. It's like, you guys have been playing ahead so much, now you've fallen behind, you're still treating it as like if you're really far ahead, which isn't the case anymore. So yeah. It's going to be at the cost of Dragon at least anyway, but you're not in this fight, so I'm going to have to keep fast forwarding it and see what happens until you get back in. Okay, you've now spawned, but you can't defend the enemy. You can't steal the Baron either. I mean, yeah, I know you could maybe just throw out an ulti maybe, but it's literally all you can do maybe to try and steal the Baron with a Leona ulti. It is sometimes possible. There's no point chasing at this point now though. After they start taking the Baron, if once you realize that it's definitely gone, just make your way straight over to the other objective, the Drake. Because they'll be recording at that point and you should be able to take the Drake. Yeah. Okay, now that's all about defense. Get as many defensive wards in as possible. You're definitely going to lose tier 1 top and you're probably going to lose a tier 2 or 2 as well. Just get that ready in your head that you're probably going to have to give those tier 2s up. You actually got the Zeeks and the Tristana as well. I think... You know what my main issue with that is actually? Is that you're not ulting, you should your ulti first. I think that is a nice catch. I mean, like that Vayne is super far overextended already. Like, because the ult is a lot faster than your E than Q. If you just ult this Vayne here straight away, then she's like around about here rather than over here. So she would have been a couple of units closer as well to die even faster. Sona tries to save on the counter there as well. I think on the whole though, the play is reasonable. Because the Vayne nearly actually gets away there as well. Should try and ult first more often. I can see why you chase at this point now though, but I think as soon as you see Karthus turn around, you have to go back. Because there's no one supporting your your CC here. So you call it off, you just say, okay, we won that fight. They might just go away now. You know, they'll treat it as a loss and they'll recall and heal, and you just basically wasted their time off the Baron. You're literally here by yourself now at this point. Jane does a really good job as well. So that actually fight ends up you actually getting ahead there, but because you were a little bit over eager there and you weren't paying attention to your damage leader's potential follow up there, it actually meant that you died for free and that your entire backline was exposed to the assassin from getting in the backline as well. I think after you've got the Vayne there and once your Karthus turned around, you just turn around as well. You kind of need to be like a magnet with your team in those type of fights, because as soon as you like separate too much, then it's just that huge like gap that exposes you, and it's like free kill kind of thing. So yeah. Is that the game just from that now? Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Okay, some things to take away. I think this game was a throw. I think this game was a massive throw from your whole team. I think this game should have been over extremely early. If you do end up winning games, which can happen quite easily on Leona during laning phase, if you do end up winning your laning phase quite hard like this, where you get the tower down relatively low early on and things like that, don't push for tier 2. Rotate to dragon quickly, or start switching over to top side so that you've got you can take another tower down and you can get the herald. Bear in mind when you do rotate to top side, if it is their top laner and jungler versus the two of you, you're probably going to lose that fight. You need your jungler to interact with you top side as well. So make sure you try and encourage your jungler to be up to top side as well. Or you could switch over so both of you are mid, and it makes Karthus go on a solo lane on the bot up to have to hold off bot side, which he should be able to do against the Vayne and a Sona anyway, even if it's just wave clearing. So that could have happened 3 minutes earlier into that game. So you gave a couple of kills away for free around this situation here. Your deep warding was good. I think your warding was generally pretty decent. A couple of times there should have been a controller planted on the objective anyway. Because you're doing them anyway and you just clear out the wards anyway. Make sure there's nothing there anyway. Really eliminate all the risk of potential that they could steal it. But no, I think your warding was probably but you're the best warder so far that I've had to coach, so there's not that much there I have to go into at all. You're doing deep warding, you're warding in the right places, you're covering your flanks for the objectives for the towers and stuff. There's nothing to argue about there. I think your main issue, if we ignore the fact that you and Triss got caught up here, I think two things. So as a support, you don't always have to follow your AD carry around, especially if you are a roaming engaged support like Leona. Like the Graves on your team was extremely far ahead, and if you just set him up, the game's done so from there because of the insane amount of burst just from your ulti. Now, let me get into your mechanics about your ulti. You really need to start using your ulti more as an engage. Leona is the safest tank engaged support in the game, and that's because of her range on her ulti. The way you're playing Leona is more like an Alistair, but you're making yourself a weaker Alistair because you're missing out on like the E equivalent on the Alistair, the extra stun. So you're going full in, hard in, and then from that on it's like, okay, well now I'm going to put my ulti down. You should do it the other way around. You should try and do long range single ultis on very, very squishy targets, overextending, like the Sona, like the Vayne, like the Twisted Fate. Or you go for like multi-combo stuns as well, on even if it pairs up with the Urgot with like a with the Kayn maybe, because you have a decent amount of AoE in your team anyway to be able to follow that kind of ult engage up. And if your ult whiffs, if your ult's bad, the team generally won't follow up on it anyway, and they'll identify quite quickly themselves if they should or not. And it also means that you don't have to go all in, because the cooldown on Leona's ulti is actually extremely low. Yeah, 48 seconds with I think that's 30% CDR. It should be 30% CDR. But yeah, 50-second cooldown in your ulti is nothing. So it's like one of the most forgiving ultimates in the entire game as well. So if you miss it, disengage, re-engage shortly afterwards if you have to, and then, you know, then make the player 50 seconds later. It's one, yeah, it's definitely one of the most forgiving ultimates in the entire game. Also, if you are extremely far ahead in the laning phase, do consider picking up that red trinket even when your quest is not complete. Clearing out those brushes, especially if you have Hex Flash as well from Inspiration. I know you don't have it this game, but that can be super powerful as well. They have to face check every brush. Yeah, it's super powerful. Well, hopefully that coaching section helps you out. I think you're coming down seemingly more towards like mechanics now at this point. So get your mechanics brushed up a little bit, you'll climb up a little bit more, make some better decisions in the team fights on who to target, and you should be slowly smooth sailing towards D4, D3. Now once you hit D3, I think your macro is fine for D3. Probably up until D2, D1, but it's going to be mechanics again. Mechanics escalate very quickly through Diamond. That's why they're adding the new master rank. But mechanics, I don't usually say this, but mechanics are actually holding you back now. 9 times out of 10 for people, it's macro holding people back, but here it's more mechanics. So play around with using ult first, identify weaker targets quicker, and this game would have been in the bag for you. Yeah. Alright. Hope you enjoyed that coaching session.